Hi everyone, I am Dhriti Mahanta. I'm the business head with TeamLease Degree Apprenticeship. Today we are here to discuss about Talent Strategy 2023. Talent Strategy 2023 is a series which we started a couple of months back to discuss with industry leaders about their talent strategy, what are the challenges they are facing, what are different initiatives they are taking to create talent across different functions and different job roles in the organization. To discuss the same today, we have with us one of the eminent industry leader. She has been very instrumental in implementing apprenticeship in her organization. Uh, Today we have with us Sonali Bali. Sonali Bali is the vice president with Genpact India. Sonali has more than 2 decades of experience in different HR functions across different ITS company. And Sonali, as I stated, is very instrumental in terms of creating the ecosystem in Genpact India for apprenticeship. She's also heading apprenticeship as one of the project for Genpact. Genpact has been implementing apprenticeship program for last 5 years, have been successfully deployed more than 11,000 apprentices across different sectors, across different centers, pan India. Today we have with us Sonali. A warm welcome to you, Sonali, and thanks for taking out time for this discussion.
Anytime, Riti. Thank you so much. It's been a really long and a heartwarming welcome. Very, very sweet of you to say that. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonali. Sonali, before we start having discussion on the talent strategy, I think I request if you can let us know how you created the ecosystem of apprenticeship in Genpact, what are challenges you face internally, externally. Then we take up the topic of the discussion.
So I think apprenticeship program, as you rightly said, Riti, has been, Genpact has been actually championing this now for the last 5 years. So 2018 is when we kicked off this entire process. And TeamLease, of course, as you know, has been instrumental because you guys were the ones who partnered with us right from the starting. It's a long journey with its ups and downs. I mean, any project for that matter has its part of teething issues, and those are learnings which we take in our stride, try to solve for it as we go along. And I'm happy to share that it's pretty much a matured piece right now, if I may call so, for Genpact. As you mentioned that 11,000, I mean, our numbers tell us that we've kind of taken about 14 odd thousand apprentices in the last 5 years. So yeah, we're going great. All the learnings on us for the last 5 years, we've taken it in the right stride and try to solve for it and put solutions around it. So I think it's a great journey and a very, very learning and a satisfying journey for Genpact.
So Sonali, as you said, you have enrolled more than 14,000 apprentices, right? What's the percentage of absorption once they complete the apprenticeship program? How many people are you going to absorb or even absorbing in terms of moving to employment?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a kickstart actually number because what my data tells me is that 90 plus, I would say, number keep hovering about, ups and downs are there always. 90 plus to about 93 odd, somewhere it's 92, somewhere it's 93, 91. But over the last 5 years, we've not seen less than about 90% getting absorbed as Genpact employees.
Great. So what do you see in terms of when you see the employee and apprentice in terms of their productivity? That is where I think will relate to what today's discussion points. So do you see any difference between the productivity of an employee and an apprentice in real-time working?
See, it's difficult to, as such, just pinpoint saying that apprentices have, different productivity trajectory versus a normal employee. But if I were to overall summarize, absolutely, apprentices are a great talent pool for all of us. Not just from a cost benefit perspective, but we've seen lower attrition rates happening with apprentices because, at that point of their journey, employment journey, or their work life, they are in the learning phase and very eager to learn from the organization like Genpact. So our experience says that lower attrition rate, high engagement are some of the fundamentals that keep them busy, and hence leading to ensuring that they also have a great journey with us, as well as productivity is an outcome of it. So when your enablers or your fundamentals are correct, productivity is just one of it. Versus normal employees, I mean, as I said, it's very difficult to demarcate, but overall, I would say yes, that we definitely have a lot of productivity coming out of our apprentices.
Great. Sonali, I think we'll start the discussion in terms of talent strategy, for which we have been here today. So, if you can let us know what kind of challenges and concerns the organization today, like specific to Genpact, they are facing with respect to creating the talent,
I
and
think
how they
Genpact.
addressing the talent crunch, which industry as a whole facing in terms of skill deficit part of it.
Absolutely. I think these are very testing times. In fact, every year seems to be like getting tougher and tougher, Jyoti. I mean, my experience in the, as you said, last 20 years, what we've seen, things what used to work 5 years back don't work now. In fact, things which used to work 2 years back don't work now. So, absolutely ever evolving times, the work dynamics are changing. Things are just like moving to a different platform with each and every year. So, it's learning for all of us, but hiring, the war for talent has been always there. So hiring the right talent is extremely critical, and it's getting tougher day by day, year on year. So that's definitely one of the challenges we as an organization also keep on facing. And once you get the right talent, keeping them, retaining them. So talent retention is a second key of it. So I think getting the right talent and retention, these are two critical aspects. If we fix that, I think we get our game right. And we as Genpact are always constantly working on the pedal to ensure that, some way or the other, we actually ace the game. Nobody can actually say that, yes, they are the masters of this game. But, as I said, that we're also testing, different formulas to ensure that, constantly keep on reassessing our talent acquisition strategy, our talent retention strategy, to see what is working, what is not working, whatever is working, can we double click on it and ensure that we understand what is clicking with the employees, and keep on pushing for that particular stuff. So overall, broadly, if I were to summarize, saying that yes, getting the right talent and ensuring that they are retained well within the organization are two key themes, which all of us are battling with.
So when you say the in terms of hiring the right talent, so what are channels your organization is using in hiring the talent so that it makes sense for that you're getting the right kind of person?
So our hiring strategy or talent acquisition strategy year on year keeps evolving. For certain years, we've seen that now the loads and loads of pressure on the cost. So cost margins impact on getting cheaper talent, if I may call so, or getting the right talent at the right price point, just to ensure that there's no bleeding happening on the margins is an extremely critical aspect for Genpact right now. And there's where channels like apprenticeship program are very, very handy for us to probably work upon. Referrals and another one which we obviously actively engage into, because that's something which ensures that people who already understand Genpact culture, Genpact values, they kind of transmit and act as brand ambassadors for us and get us the right talent, attract the right talent which will gel well with Genpact values. But coming back to the entire point that what is actually working for Genpact. So we keep multiple, obviously, channels to attract the right talent. And apprenticeship is definitely one of the key components of actually getting the right talent, the right cost for us, ensuring that it's good talent at the right cost.
Great. So Sonali, when you talk about talent strategy, how do you define the talent strategy specific to Genpact, or you can say, and then at macro level for the ITS companies?
See, specifically Genpact being an ITS company, it's an extremely evolving and changing and very, very dynamic world for us. You know that this is one field which constantly requires highly skilled labor for servicing our client requirements. And that too, dealing with technologies in the current time, technology gets obsolete every 6 months. So, getting the right specialized skill is very, very difficult. So we at Genpact now are actually embracing a lot of building up the talent versus buying the talent. So because we've realized that there's no, you don't even know by the time you get the talent, another 6 months, 7 months, or 1 year down the line, that role becomes redundant, that technology becomes redundant. So what is actually the hot cake in the market is something which start building up the talent. So build strategy for us works very well. Now in this particular specialized times where AI is playing such critical roles, where the digitization, automation, etc., is happening so much, constantly looking at things which are getting us the right I would say attitude, people who are ready to unlearn and learn is something which is extremely crucial for us. I mean, Dhriti, you and I, we also realize that there's only so much one can learn from a university or a school, etc. So there's no way I could say that, okay, going and picking up a ready-made talent is going to help my problem or solve my problem. So we know for sure that as long as we're getting the right people with the mindset to unlearn what they've kind of learned in their schools and colleges and learn on the job with us at Genpact is something which we're trying to crack the code at.
So I think it's more about creating the talent instead of getting talent from outside, which may be not be as cost effective as compared to what you can create in-house. I think that is where the apprenticeship plays a very important role, Sonali.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Sonali, when you talk about what are different trends in terms of like this year, in terms of creating, when you talk about the new talents to be created, what are different different kind of roles or the technology which you feel you're talking about AI, what else?
I think it's not just about technology per se, Dhriti. I think the entire concept of reskilling, constantly upskilling is the theme for this year. So if I were to say that what is a key trend? The key trend is constant learning. That's the key trend for all of us, including us. Now, Genpact overall as an organization plays a lot of importance on investing in people, and it has a continuous learning culture within the organization, which includes the leadership as well. So if you look at our CEO, CHRO, they give a lot of importance to our in-house learning capabilities development. They give a lot of importance to people ensuring the right growth path trajectory, who are constantly reinventing themselves, learning new technologies. Because let's all accept that, as I said, 5 years back, we didn't have these, digitization to a certain extent. Earlier, we used to have plain vanilla skills like F&A, but now you have to have F&A skills along with a certain component on the digital side, data tech, AI. These are hot keywords one has to understand. So folks who've been into sales for the last 10 years, they might not be probably new to, this is new for them. So they have to constantly keep upskilling themselves. So our organization gives a lot of importance and comfort for them to unlearn what they've done all this 20, 30 years and keep investing into new skills so that you're still credible in the market. You don't get obsolete. So that being the concept at Genpact, I'm seeing that across now as a key trend in 2023, that constantly keep rebuilding yourself, constantly see what is there in the market, what is going to stay in the market for the next 1-2 years, and then pick up that particular skill and run with that. So I definitely feel that that's something which is a strong theme for all of us to keep in mind.
So when you talk about apprentices being also part of this reskilling and upskilling, in what kind of job roles apprentices are deployed in Genpact?
I mean, it's all across. I couldn't actually pinpoint and say that it's only one domain or it's only one service line or vertical that's picking up apprentices. Apprentices for us is a constant across. So yeah, it works across.
Sonali, I think one thing which I want to know from you is that you have apprentices. How you segregate in terms of like apprentice doing the on-the-job training, which is front-ending, and the theoretical part of it, where we talk about reskilling and upskilling. Apprentice, which is like want to understand new technology, understand new domain. So that is basically where they need to have theoretical aspect of it. So how your organization is taking care of this particular thing for apprentices?
See, apprentice roadmap is a very smart roadmap, according to me. I mean, they've really created a great roadmap, which has critically called out what are some of the very important skills which need to be taught as a part of your classroom learning, as well as the on-job training. On-job training actually helps the entire, apprentice to understand what's actually happening on the business floor. And then we have, proper, the curriculum is carved out, in such smart way by our training team, where all these, trainings actually give you a flavor of the entire digitization aspect as well. So gamification is something, the learnings through gamifications, etc., are a very important aspect of our learning. The virtual trainings which one goes through, you have self-paced learning, which has been given to the candidate that whenever you get time, you can actually learn it and you don't have to do it in a synchronous manner only. So asynchronous, learning platforms are something which Genpact has invested into. So overall, I would feel that one starts to get the flavor of this entire smart learning capabilities at Genpact as a part of your entire roadmap journey?
So it's more of like what I can say is it's not only on the job training, it's like embedded a lot of other things which get imparted through a digital platform which you have, right? In terms
Yes.
of like apprentices.
Yes, that's right.
Great. Sonali, I think I'm sure you know recently we release a stipend primer, which we do every year in terms of like how the stipend looks like in terms of like different industry, different job roles. So what we have found in the report is that today the increase of salary, which is lesser than in terms of when I talk about somebody getting a salary as an employee and somebody working as an apprentice getting stipend, there's a difference in terms of growth of his stipend is much more than the growth of salary for employees. So what do you see about this particular change?
So I would say it's a very positive change, and I'm sure the apprentices will be very excited to probably learn about it as and when they get to learn about all these details if they are going through these research reports. This is definitely one of the factors that will motivate the employees to come in, or the new talent to come and enroll for the apprenticeship program. So great way to entice or attract the right talent. This is also another way, I feel that continues to showcase that the organizations are committed to this entire program. And that's what we actually need at this current point of time. What we need is that, as I said, like companies like Genpact who believe in this entire theory or their vision of building up the talent. What you need is the great self-motivated raw talent which can come join us, learn on the job, and work for us in the long term. So through an increased stipend, if that's one of the reasons that can actually motivate people to come and join or sign up for this particular program, I feel this is a great initiative. Also, the fact that our own the business requirements keep evolving. So when our own business requirements keep on evolving, our business needs actually keep evolving. We need the right kind of talent to be attracted and come and join us at the right price point. That's another factor which actually leads to a kick of probably getting the increased stipend, because when the requirements weren't so much maybe 5 years back, we didn't know the kind of talent pool that's actually sitting with the apprenticeship program. But now when we see that, yes, it is working out, the positive trends, as I said, it's not only cost effective for the organization, but also ensures that there's high talent retention with low attritions happening in this particular pocket. Definitely business as a Genpact businesses actually are ready to embrace it with open arms, and that's where you see this entire thing converting into higher stipends as well. So yeah, absolutely, I think it's a strategic move only to get the right talent.
Sonali, we discussed that around 90% apprentices, once they complete the apprenticeship, they get an employment inside Genpact itself. So what is a wage premium? So somebody joining at the X as a stipend, what is the salary hike they get when they become an employee? A percentage, maybe a ballpark.
I can't actually quote the numbers as such, Priti, but I would say somewhere, I mean, it's a good number, something which
So there's
again,
a wage premium for apprentices, definitely.
definitely there's a wage premium when you actually get converted. And each and every number is actually run past our CNB team, and then they happen to probably share that particular grid for a certain year. So we've seen that at times the grids are revised 2 times in a year, and we've seen that at certain times the grids run the same for throughout the year. So yeah, it depends. But yes, definitely there's an kick, or if I may, also the wage premium which is attached when it comes to FT conversion.
Great. Sonali, I'm sure you must be knowing when apprenticeship started, it is more of manufacturing, then it moves to retail. Now, a lot of ITS companies looking for apprenticeship, but whatever discussion I do with this large organization, they talk about more of the compliance prospect, not from supply chain creation part of it. Why do you think so? Why organizations still in ITS space, they're still apprehensive about taking apprentices?
See, my guess is that we need to talk about it more, Jyoti, in the sense that I have a feeling, and that's something which is even a struggle for us, that we guys have been, I would say, like to call ourselves pioneer in this industry, in the ITES space, to pick up apprentices. But if I were to look around and see that, okay, how do I get more opportunity to do best practice sharing with companies like our size, our form, to understand what is working well with them versus what is not working with them, and then share best practices. There's hardly which I could perhaps, figure out. I could count on my fingers. So that's a gap which I think all of us have to still work upon, that the more this entire program is circulated within the ITES segment and people understand the advantages or the benefits of this particular program, the more they are going to actually embrace this. So I would say marketing is extremely crucial and critical for all of us. In fact, the government should take more initiatives to do internal marketing or external marketing of this particular program within segments which they think could be active takers of the program. That's my 2 cents on it.
Sure. One more thing, I think, Sonali, I think you know that today we have different programs like subset apprenticeship, we have NAT, SNAPs, right, regular apprenticeship, degree apprenticeship. I think many time industry get also confused with this kind of a different subset, or you can say different kind of on-the-job training program which is embedded with apprenticeship. Do you think the consolidation is required, or think this is that it is not required at this point of time, so that the complete ecosystem evolve, then you do a consolidation?
See, consolidation, streamlining, standardization, these are keywords which are always there for any segment, and apprenticeship program is no different. When we have a version 1 of a certain program, it's always good to look at that particular strategy and think about coming with a version 2 which is more streamlined and more standardized than version 1. I think that theme is cutting across. Now, this being a government-led program, definitely, as a part of your first tranche, if I may call so, first rollout, if I may call so, was actually created in a certain way. And there's scope for streamlining everywhere. So yes, I definitely want to advocate that the government should take a step back and look at opportunities of streamlining.
Okay, so I think our government has come a long way from a paper and work model, then and now they are like doing a digitization. But I think I still believe there's one aspect to it, Sonali, which I think you guys also facing challenges that with respect to the quota. Do you think organizations need to have a definite quota, or they can decide their own quota? What is your take on this?
Flexibility is always good. I think mandating something is not going to benefit in any which ways. If things are working for us, why limiting only for 15%? And if things are not working for us, why pushing for minimum of 2.5 is my view. So yeah, we are matured businesses and we should be in a position to take our call. If the program is working for us, we should be allowed to go even above 15%, which is the maximum quota available. So yes, to answer your question, I don't agree to the quota system.
Right. Finally, Sonali, any input from your side to the government in terms of Ministry of MSD or NSDC in terms of which can help the implementation much more easy and better as compared to what is today now?
Absolutely. I think we should pick up practices from I would say, so from programs which have worked well in the past, with them. As I said, I mean, it's going to be maybe a repeat, but streamlining, standardization, educating, more corporates to come into it, then ensuring that you're socializing with them to ensure that exchange of information, exchange of best practices is happening between the organizations. So one tends to learn from the second one and the second learns from the first one. I think these are very, very important aspects. So knowledge has to be fungible. I mean, we can't limit that, okay, there could be things which are working for, let's say, company A, and only company A knows about it. It's not going to benefit the entire program in the long run. So we should definitely tap into the knowledge segments which are actually working maybe in bits and corners and get more fungibility within the corporates.
So what is your take on direct beneficiary transfer, which was initiated by government in this financial year? How do you take it up?
Genpact has not signed up for it yet, and we're not very sure whether it will work, in a very streamlined fashion for all of our apprentices, and going to be like ensuring that they don't face challenges and receiving their amounts, etc., in the accounts. So till I don't see the practical ground working of it in a fully functional manner, no, I don't have comfort. All I would say, I'm not, as an individual at least, I'm not very comfortable with this entire concept.
Great, Sonali. Thank you so much for taking out time for discussion. Before we leave, I think one thing which I like to know, if you can share any good memory in terms of somebody, an apprentice moving to employment, he or she had a discussion with you, express her in terms of like what learnings uh, he or she had. If you can share a brief, any apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a lead of the program, I happen to connect with apprentices randomly to understand what's working, what's not working, to capture the real pulse on the floor, etc. And in my one of my recent visits in Hyderabad, I definitely had very positive inputs and very positive feedback from the members of our Hyderabad community, Hyderabad apprenticeship program. So I mean, they just have to have faith in what they are doing is the right thing for them to probably pick up as a learning and run with it. So they had faith in the program. They had faith in Genpact as an entity. I think it was really positive to hear some really good words coming out of it and giving that comfort that they feel that today what they are as an employee, it contributes a lot to the learnings which they've had as a part of the roadmap. So yeah, only positive things to hear from them.
Great. Thank you, Sonali. And I hope you deploy more apprentices and also contribute in terms of creating a better ecosystem for apprenticeship, not only in Genpact, but for India also. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thanks for having me.